The equipment I chose to start my podcast, part 2. At the beginning of the year, I started a podcast called About Small Business, which has just finished its first season of 25 episodes. This is the equipment I chose to record that podcast. If you're enjoying this content, please do like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to let you know exactly when another podcast is going to drop. Audio. I'm actually a bit of an audio guy as my background is as a musician and a producer, so I was quite particular about the audio of the podcast. Also, this is a podcast and all the episodes can be found on Spotify, Apple Podcasts or any other of the major outlets. And I chose the rather brilliant Rodecaster Pro version 1. Now there's a version 2 of this model, but having weighed it up the pros and cons, I decided I didn't need any of the new features that the newer version had to offer, so I thought I could save some money and opt for a second-hand one. The quality is amazing, you can get great sound just by using this machine. Now many podcasters use the Rode PodMic with this unit, but I chanced upon a great deal on the Zoom ZDM1 from Wexphoto Video. Now between the mic and the Rodecaster I get really good sound out of the box, and it does a surprisingly good job of cutting out background noise. Lighting. The people I interview often think that a nice background is ideal for filming, and that can be the case in some circumstances. But the podcasts I filmed tended to be between 40 minutes to an hour, and that time, particularly in the UK, natural light can change quite dramatically. Consequently, it's ideal to have controlled lighting. For that I decided on the Neewer 530 Pro RGB LED video lights. This lighting kit is actually pretty versatile. It's got an app to control it and a colour temperature of between 3200 to 5600 Kelvin, which is absolutely fine for the size of the rooms that I've been filming in. Between this kit and my camera and lenses I can get decent picture quality in most locations. At the last check, Amazon don't have any of these in stock, but Neewer do several others and have probably got an upgraded model that you can pick up for around about the same price, which is about £200 if you're interested. Software. It's important to give a mention to the software that brings everything together, and for this I use Final Cut Pro. I've enjoyed using Macs for over 20 years and just found them more intuitive than Windows machines. That's a personal preference, depends largely on what you're used to. I used Logic Pro for music production for a long time, and so I'm just happy with the macOS workflow. I don't actually push Final Cut's capabilities with the podcast. I generally have 3 1-hour long 4K video clips to sync together along with a WAV file from the Rodecaster. Then it's a case of cropping the image, some basic colour grading and lighting adjustments, and then clip the videos together as to who's talking at that time. A special mention has to go to the first generation Mac Mini, which has been able to handle that load really well. Extras. Obviously I use 3 tripods to mount the cameras on during filming. Now you can spend a ridiculous amount of money on tripods. For my needs, as long as they're stable, I don't need anything too expensive, so I decided on the K&F Concept aluminium tripod with the ball head and the 79-inch version. I was happy with that and so picked up the 64-inch version as well. As a third tripod, I'm using a tripod I actually bought in China back in 2007. No idea who made it, but it is pretty good quality. Memory cards and SD drives are essential, and you can't really go wrong with SanDisk, but a special mention needs to go to the Samsung equivalent, certainly for audio. Well, that rounds up the main part of the equipment used for the podcast, but what would I use if I were to start again? Tune in next week to find out.